right, first and foremost, we want to give all praise to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
Shalom to the cross of the great millstone that rule well. Shalom to all the occupants on the highways and byways with the worship seemingly faithfully and continually fighting that good fight of faith. Lord willing, we are all found in that number. May Yahweh Yahushua deliver us to the day of destruction. Right? So once again, as we always do, we're just gonna go through the spirit, just speak on, whatever the spirit wants to be brought out, and go from there. All right. So give me Amos 9 and 8.
Amos 9 and 8.
Yeah.
Amos 9 and 8. Behold, the eyes of the Lord Yahweh are upon the sinful kingdom.
Right. America has become that new sinful kingdom. All right. And being that new sinful kingdom, we're seeing more and more madness, surface every day, every hour. All right. And it must needs be destroyed. We're coming down to the wire, man. And if you don't realize and if you don't understand that this is Babylon the Great, where the great horse sits, then you are sadly mistaken. You've been misled, man. This place is fit to be destroyed, man. It needs be. Go ahead.
And I will destroy it off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, said the Lord.
And that's why it's important to come back to your true nationality. All right, you got men. You had that situation on 95 where these dudes was, going to do some target practice up in New Hampshire or Maine or wherever it was, and when they got pulled over, the problem is this, right? You got a bunch of men who are driving down the highway in Massachusetts, right? They pull over to refuel their cars, but in the process of them pulling over to refuel their cars, they drape their guns all over them, What statement are you trying to make, man? What statement are you trying to make in Babylon? That you own a gun? That you have firepower? Okay, now what? Now you find yourself in a quagmire because you decided to not use discretion and not be wise and drape a gun over your shoulder and call yourself a Moor. You see? The Lord said it is imperative that you come back to your true nationality, man. It is imperative. Because how are you going to get delivered out of here if you don't know who you are, man? And if you don't know who you are, you damn sure ain't going to know Yahweh Yahushua. You see? And that's why we come out here in the highways and byways, to wake people up so they can see that sign, so they can inquire, so we can get into it. So that we can get into it. So we can get into who you are, where you're from, where your father line goes down from. Alright? Close to them like your brothers. Skipping and frogging in the car. Good, brother.
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 2. I'm going to start at verse 30. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people, but in the land of their captivity they shall remember themselves.
Right. Now, if I may say this, the cat that was speaking on the Facebook Live, he made it very clear several times that they're not a part of some black extremist group. Okay? Now,
this is the leader of the...
Right. We're not a part of some black extremist group. Now, who is he referring to? They're referring to the Israelites, man.
Oh, okay.
That's who he's referring to. Because what other black extremist group out there, or what other group of people that have been titled or known to be extremists? They're talking about the children of Israel. Even though they're Israelites and they don't acknowledge that they're Israelites, you know what? That's going to be the demise in time, right? Go ahead.
Back in Amos 9, verse 9, for lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations.
Right. Now, in order to be sifted, you got to know who you are, know the Heavenly Father's name, know His Son's name, all right? Call upon that name, because it's very, once again, man, we're coming down to some very crucial times right now. And to be walking in darkness, professing yourselves to be a Moor, if you want to classify yourselves as a Moor, that's on you. But at the end of the day, it has no substance. There's nothing that's tangible that you can take from that. Being an Israelite, you can grab these scriptures, grab this word, grab hold of Yahweh Shai, and they grab hold of you. And that's your foundation. Go ahead.
Because read the precept, brother.
It's Proverbs 18 and 10. It says, the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe.
Right. If I can say that something. Because what happens after that? Right? Okay, you're a Moor. All right, now what?
Right.
You know what I mean? What is it? What do you do now? Because obviously you don't have enough cognizance to say how you should move through the world. the scriptures at least give us a roadmap of how to move in the world and how to eat. I'm quite sure that there are men in Israel that have weapons, right? But the scriptures give us a roadmap of how to move throughout the world. Man.
That's right.
So what? Okay, fine. Be a Moor. That's like the elder said. Be a Moor if that's what you decide to do. But it's obviously not teaching you how to be smart, how to be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. Like and let's what was there like 11 of them? 11 guys. Is there more of you? Right? Like I know about this group of men here, but I also know that there's more of us. Right? There's a nation that we're building. Right? Is there more of you? Is there just you 11? Are you guys gonna take down America by yourselves? What is after being a Moor? Because I was talking to my ex's brother about it. He had texted me about it. And he was saying something about maritime laws and all of this stuff, and they get themselves, and I'm like, okay, fine. Okay, Grant, you know the laws of America. That's okay, fine. I know a guy personally who was being harassed by the cops and said he was a Moor. You know what they did to him? They pulled his ass out of the window, slammed him on the ground, and arrested his ass anyway.
Your sovereignty.
Yeah, so much for your sovereignty, right? What people don't understand about, somebody get Proverbs 29:2. And then somebody get Psalms 58 and 2.
Can I grab this quick precept for you?
Hit me with Proverbs and then get the precept.
This is Proverbs 29:2.
Yep.
When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
Yeah.
But when the wicked bear rule,
Right.
the people mourn.
Right, when the wicked beareth rule, people mourn. Why do the people mourn? Because the people that are in power don't even honor their own rules and laws. The reason why you can comb through the laws as a Moor, you can say that they have maritime laws and they got land laws, and the reason why you know that is because it's on the books. Right. So they're not honoring their own rules and regulations. So why would you think that by knowing them, you give yourself some type of advantage?
Right.
Only thing you're gonna do is piss them off. If you have a tyrant, right? A tyrant wants to maintain his tyranny, right? And if you do anything to challenge that tyranny, he's gonna be mad, not happy, and he's gonna do everything in his power to remove you.
That's right.
They don't honor their own rules and regulations. This is what the Patriot Act was about. Patriot Act 1, Patriot Act 2, that's what that was about. So that people couldn't use the Constitution, their right as an American, as an excuse to stop America from surveilling their homes. Right.
It's the same exact thing in my show. You got these jakes who are on and studying the law, and
Right.
penal codes and the federal law, and
Right.
this section and that
They
section.
don't honor it.
And Esau himself don't honor his own law.
Right.
So what makes you think he's gonna let a so-called Negro in America with a gun slung over his shoulder? What makes you think he's gonna honor you, man?
Right.
Good.
Okay, that's what, if I may add, that's why they created the amendment.
Right.
So they can,
Yeah.
the actual amendment, they can amend laws, switch laws. If a law pretty much needs to be changed, they can change it. Like that condo that collapsed. Now they're changing the laws on how to build the structure in a certain way to so-called prevent it from happening. So if there's a law that they think that it's going to benefit whatever futuristic something in the future, they can change it.
Right.
They can change it.
Right. So for you to spend your life trying to learn about the wicked ones, laws and penal codes, like I guess the spirit of what the Constitution is, not the men that developed it, but the spirit of it, where every man has the right to his own sovereignty. Those are all noble things. But the problem is the people that executed or not executed, but prescribe those things. They don't adhere to them. They don't care about sovereignty. They only care about absolute power.
That's right.
They don't really care about sovereignty. When it was like what Esau is and the Constitution is like a kid leaving underneath his father's rules and regulations to say, I want to do it by myself. That's what it was. He gave the guise of it's not fair. He gave the guise of it's not right for the king to have rule over the people, right? But really, they just wanted to have their own power to do whatever they wanted to do. They didn't want to be under instruction. So the paper itself it has nobility to it, but it's the people that are unrighteous, man. That's why you started out with Amos 9. That's why the Lord got to destroy this place, not because of the land, not the land, not the
Land's not at fault.
not the ideas that the land developed, but the people don't follow those ideas. Those you read the Constitution, it's like, oh, all right, well, yeah, I'm a sovereign. All right, that sounds good.
Jake think he on the move when he start learning them laws.
Right,
man.
right.
And now you go out and once again you provoke this shit because you read these laws, you study these laws. Now you go out and you drive down the highway and you get out on the side of the road, 11 niggas with all kinds of machine guns and all kinds of AK-47s.
right.
You think Esau's gonna allow that shit, man? You think Esau's gonna be like, oh yeah, they know the laws. Have a good day,
Yeah,
guys.
right.
No.
Oh, can I say another thing? You got what's I gonna say? Salaki, this escapes me. So I appreciate it. Escapes me. It'll come back to you.
Can I say something real quick,
Go ahead.
if I may, as well? You had this, what they called Juneteenth as well, not long ago, right? Right. Now, if I was looking into what being free and being sovereign is, when you're free and sovereign as a nation, you by default you have to write your own laws, you have to write your own decrees, and you have to pretty much live independently. Which our people, none of our people have the ability to write their own laws, live independently from any form of government. You're still under the laws and subjection of Esau. So you're really not sovereign. You're really not free. You're really a corporate slave because you're living under the rules of this big corporation called America.
Isaiah 10:1, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor.
Because here's the thing, right? If America really went by the Constitution, they couldn't really be mad at somebody for being a sovereign or for wanting equal rights or for wanting to be treated fairly. Or you can't really be mad at somebody for that. So what is it that they do in their amending the law or them changing the law, or they'll say all of these beautiful things in the Constitution, everybody has right to own land, the right to sovereignty, and all of these different things, and then so-called black people get freed, and now it's like, oh, well, we didn't mean y'all. So now they chasing themselves, chasing their own tail, trying to change the rules, trying to change the law so that nobody else can surmount the amount of wealth that they did. So it's not the idea of America. It was created, I guess, on a fleshly level, like speaking as a man, for nobility. It was to make people free. But obviously, you didn't care about freedom because you had people in slavery.
Right.
Like absolute slavery. Like there's righteousness in slavery. Like you can read the scriptures and it tells you how to righteously have slaves, right? But they had absolute control over human beings, man. So it's the people that are unrighteous. Right? If you want to set a rules and laws, right? The first thing to assure that your rules and laws get followed is you follow them. What makes a righteous king? What makes a righteous king? A righteous king is one who believes in the things that he enforces, right? And to show his belief in the things that he enforces, he does them. Right? How can you prove that? You as a parent or anyone as a parent. How can you tell your kids, hey, look, man, don't smoke crack, it's not good for you, and you go in the room and smoke crack? It's not gonna work. It's not gonna happen for you. So the best way to assure that your rules get followed, if you follow them. This is why America has to be destroyed. This is why the world is upset with America. Not because it's a bad place, because the people are bad. Yes. Right? He'll tell you, figure it out. And he's not saying figure it out because he don't want to help you. He's saying figure it out because if it was his situation, he would try to figure it out. We've fixed my cars. Like I had a problem in my with my my navigation system. I don't even know where the fucking thing is at. I'm thinking it's right here where I'm looking, but the navigation is in the trunk. Like the computer part of it is in the trunk. And I told him, I was like, oh yeah, I need the codes off the navigation, kind of like a humming and hawing. He was like, well did you get it? I was like, yeah, they said it was in the trunk, huh? got up off the computer chair. We went downstairs, and he's, you know, taking all the things. So he said, he looked at me and said, you know, I've never done this before, right? And I'm looking at him like, damn, like, here he is, he's doing it, right? I should have been the one. We took, you know, all the liner off the inside of the trunk. He took it off. We found the computer, got the numbers I needed, called the place in California. Boom, my navigation's working. In 10 minutes. In 10 minutes. But the point of it, the point of the story is, he did it. He did it himself. He won't ask you to do something that he wouldn't do himself. You can figure it out. I had a lawnmower situation a couple weeks ago, a few weeks, but at the start of the summer, my lawnmower wasn't working. Who's the first person I called? Him. Because I know he has experience with lawnmowers. He goes, oh, well, all right, well, you know, all right, you having a problem with it? Okay, all right, that's I was like, damn, he gonna make me do this shit by myself. So, get off the phone with him. That's what I did. I went, I Googled it, I YouTubed it, I saw the fucking thing that was the problem. I took the whole thing apart, put it back together, pulled the rope, it worked. Now I know how to fix lawnmowers, or at least that problem. Right? So, but the point is, he's not going to tell you to do something that he doesn't do, that he wouldn't do first, right? And that's what a leader is. That's what a righteous king would do. If I want to enforce these rules and regulations, I have to do it, right? And this was heavy about saying that is, when you look at every king from King Saul all the way through, they all had problems with following their own. This is why the nation fell apart. This is why the nation fell apart. The Lord said, you don't need a king. I'm your king. You go to the Levites to figure out what I want you to do. You don't need a king. But we saw what the other nations did. Okay, fine. We give you a king. And none of them kept the rules the way the Heavenly Father wanted them to be kept. And look at the nation now. Now we're in slavery.
Right. The Lord said, these kings are going to rule your sons and daughters.
Right.
You know, with much rigor.
Right, and they did. Right, the closest one to it was Solomon. We know the outcome of that story. Right, we know the outcome of that story. So that's important. That's not a thing where you just, you know, you make a rule and then don't follow it yourself.
Right. Who was the king that's eluding my mind right now? I think was it Rehoboam? When he got with his fellows, and his fellows like, yeah, we're gonna put much hell on Israel.
Oh no, that was Solomon's son.
Yeah,
it was Rehoboam,
right?
Yeah.
He said
instead of listening to the elders, he listened to his buddies.
Buddies said they're gonna put all kinds of hell on Israel. So much hell that it's the loin of something.
Your pinky finger was stronger than your father's loin.
Right,
something along those lines.
Yeah,
right.
That's the whole thing, man. Israel, our people, man, they don't get it, man. They don't get and understand what they're involved in. I don't mean to cut you off.
No, it's okay.
They don't get or understand what they're involved in, man. And our people always want it easy. You know, when you come into this thing, man, you sacrifice a lot. You sacrifice yourself, you know, and you sacrifice your life, everything. It's all a sacrifice. But what? We're all looking for that one penny that the Lord said He's going to give unto us if we continue in our ways, man. If we continue in the way. You know, can I? What you got? If I may.
Yeah, you got.
Give me Isaiah 33:6. Good.
Yeah, this is Romans 11:7. What then? Israel had not obtained that which he seeketh for,
right.
but the election had obtained it, and the rest were blinded.
Right. The election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded. And this is why we continually and pray consistently and hope and pray that the Lord keeps us in that hopeful elect status, man. Because the rest of the world is blind. You look out in the world, what's going on out here, these jakes don't have no goddamn clue, man. Israel has no clue what's going on. They don't even know Esau's the devil. They don't even know he's the oppressor.
Right.
They don't know that. And they think because we've come this far, they say to us, oh, you're just using the white man as a crutch. As if we have the capability to just go somewhere and build a house and just live off the land and have nobody bother us. Shit, Esau, we need Esau. We need Esau in this kingdom because it's his kingdom first and foremost, and everything we do, we use, and we gather comes from Esau, man. That's it. You know? Go ahead, brother.
This is Proverbs 11, verse 9. An hypocrite with his mouth destroy his neighbor, but through knowledge shall the just be delivered.
Right, and that's why, matter of fact, read that.
Yep. Isaiah 33, verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure.
Right, wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of that time. This is what's gonna ground you. This is what's gonna take you through to the next day, man. Knowing this word, being in the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. You know, we've been speaking about these cats who are on the highway. Now, they read Esau's shit. Esau's not honoring that. So now, what's your next step of foundation, or what's your foundation now? Because you're traveling through the world, talking about, yeah, you know, we got the right to travel and all this other bullshit.
Yeah, your driver's license
Right.
is something.
Right, you're
yeah,
traveling,
yeah,
right,
yeah,
so-
more is more.
So now Esau doesn't recognize the shit that you're kicking to him.
Right.
His own she don't recognize that.
Right.
So now where do you go for support? We of the hopeful elect and the men of the Lord, we go back to the scriptures. Wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of thy times. Now, if you men were wise, you would have said to the crew, all right, listen, we're gonna pack up all the guns, put everything in the trunk, lock it in the trunk, we're just gonna drive through as regular people.
You stopping to get gas. For what reason do you need to take your liquor?
But not only that, he said we look at, he pulls back the tarp. Look at, we've got the gas tanks. We filled up all the gas tanks so we don't draw attention to ourselves at a gas station. Well, if you had just went as regular people, no, they had all this army tactical gear on. You thought they were going to Afghanistan. So they fucking driving. So you got all this gear on. Of course you're gonna draw attention to yourselves. You know, but that's what you were looking for. You was looking for attention. Because if you weren't looking for attention, you would have just got your black asses up. Yo, let's go. We're gonna roll up there. All the equipment's in the back. We're good. You know. But because you lack wisdom and knowledge and understanding, you do things according to Esau's law. And Esau's law got you jammed up, man. Good.
If I could say, and then what Jake does, they find a reason. They find another similar story. Well, this guy, he was able to travel with his guns, and
Right, right.
because he's white.
Right.
They didn't, no, it has nothing to do with it, man. It has nothing to do with it. You fucked up. The scriptures teach us how to maneuver when you're a slave. When you're a slave, you got to move a certain way.
Right.
It's the scriptures say, I think it's Romans 13.
Obey the laws.
There's 13. What's the scripture, brother? Come on now, give it to me, brother. Give it to me with enthusiasm, brother.
I got you. Romans 13 verse 1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher power, for
Yeah.
there is no power but of the Most High.
Keep going.
The power that be ordained of the Most High.
Right.
Whosoever therefore resists the power, resists the ordinance of the Most High,
Yeah.
and they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation.
Right.
For rulers are not
That's what
terror
I'm looking for.
to good works.
Rulers are not a terror unto good works. If you just do what Esau thinks you're supposed to be doing, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. They could have made it to Maine illegally.
problems.
They're doing it illegally, but they could have made it to Maine if you just at least try to work within the rules, and you could have made it up there with no problem. Now there's a standoff in the middle of the goddamn. Y'all look, that is insane.
Right. Being wise would have been, like I said, you know, we ain't gonna flash, we ain't gonna we ain't gonna do all that shit. We're just gonna go as regular people, go up in there, and then when we get to our destination, that's like if you play paintball. You got your little paintball outfit on, you got the helmet and shit, and you go into the gas station with your paintball gun drip. Why would you do that? That's gonna draw attention to you. You want people to see that you are black men with guns. Nobody gives a shit. And on top of that, they shut the whole shit down and put lockdown in the surrounding towns, man. You niggas done caused all kinds of hysteria up
Now
there,
everybody
man.
else gotta be fucked up because you.
Edomite towns at that, so you know they are.
You in Babylon, man. You niggas are in Babylon, and they don't give a goddamn what you classify yourself as. You think because you were more that you someone special? This is not your land, man. This is not your rest. So therefore, you're gonna be subjected to all kinds of hell by these devils, man. Go ahead.
Matthew 5:25. Agree with thine adversary quickly, while thou art in the way with him. Lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into
What do you need it for?
Right.
You gonna what you gonna I just get locked up. I'll just teach people in there. No, I don't want to teach them in there. They're wild. You know, I'll be thinking about that. What's wrong with this jail, man? Those people in there are animals. They're animals in there. I don't want to be in there with them. I want to be out here so I can teach.
They've already chosen a side, man. They've chosen Islam.
Yeah.
cats in jail, they all chose Islam.
Yeah,
You can't go over there and tell
me
them
funny.
you Israelite.
Yeah.
Nah, nigga, I ain't know.
I'm tired of that Israelite shit. And now I'm no, I don't want to go in there with them. Why bring yourself trouble that's unnecessary? The Lord told us what to do to be if you have the desire to be like the scriptures say, standing bold as a lion, right? If you have that desire, the scriptures tell you what to do that. Go on the highways and byways,
Get you a
and as
sign.
many as ye shall find, bid to the marriage.
Right. Yep.
That is bold enough. You don't need to do nothing outside of that to be bold. People don't do this, what we're doing. Who do you know? I never seen no more out here week after week. You might see him for a summer. You might see him for 2 summers. But I've never seen no more doing this week after week.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is actually the most boldest thing you can do.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%. The most bold thing you can do in your life is to stand up for a belief in something that you can't prove.
Right.
We can read the scriptures all day. You're not going to convince somebody of the Heavenly Father that doesn't believe in the Heavenly Father. We do that week after week. That's belief.
Right.
The fact that we come out here every week. I just was watching the Apostles' show from yesterday, and that's what the Elder Apostle Kabar started with. The way you show your faith is coming out on the highways and byways, man. That's how you show your faith. By standing out here week after week. You don't. If you want to be strong, you want to feel powerful, do this.
That's what the scriptures say that the weapons of the warfare
Are not carnal. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Go ahead, bro. Salasa.
2 Corinthians 10 verse 4,
Yep.
for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal,
Right.
but mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds.
Right, the pulling down the strongholds. How are we pulling down the strongholds? By exposing them. The scriptures say that there has to be the man of perdition had to be revealed. That's how you pull him down. Because now what is his stance up here is on something faulty, right? And if you expose that the thing that he's standing on is faulty, what is he standing on now? There's no real substance to what Esau is standing on. So to take him down, you don't need to shoot him down. You don't got to hit him down. All you got to do is tell the truth. Yeah.
Say this. Yep. The brothers on the highways and byways are more feared than any man on the planet because we are coming spiritually. Esau can get down carnally. He can get down with the weaponry. Esau is a master at weapons. He wants us to do that, you know. But they fear us because they know we're spiritually connected to Yahweh.
Right.
They fear that. I mean, you can't sidestep that. Now, if you going carnal to be carnal with Esau, he's gonna wipe you off the face of the earth, man. That's why the scripture says the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. You see? Hey, you men who are carnal, you're gonna do carnal things. And if you want to get carnal with Esau, he's gonna wipe you out, man.
Because I just want to make sure people. I think it was Xerxes when he was trying to take over the world. He sent out a notice first. He was like, "Look, tell the world that I'm coming. I'm coming. And if they want to deal with my military, then they can stand up and fight. But if not, they better bow down." And most nations just bow to him, right? But when he got to Israel, he saw that they was up in the hills. They was preparing themselves. They was getting ready. He was like, "Yo, like who are they to be preparing themselves against me? Who are they?" And then he went to go inquire the Moabite. I forget that. He said, "Who are them people over there in the hill country?" He's like, you don't want to fuck with them. He was like, "What you mean? I don't want to fuck with them. I'm me. I'm the mighty. I'm me, right?" So he said, look, man. He said, "Here's what you need to do. He said, you need to go over there first. And if they're not keeping the laws in their ways, then maybe you can go over there. But if they keeping the laws, you might not want to go over there." He was like, "What? Kill this nigga? We going over there anyway." Yeah. And so. What? How do we mount strength? How were we able to sit there and prepare for that onslaught? Is because we were in good with the Heavenly Father, right? So that's the power. Not in you knowing the laws of the wicked. Not in you knowing I can carry a gun across state lines. That will do nothing for you. Your power is in believing in the Heavenly Father and that He will protect you in those matters, man. Go ahead.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 4 verse 9. For I think that Yahweh has set forth us the apostles last, as they were appointed to death, For we are made a spectacle unto the world, and to angels, and to men. We are fools for Yahweh's sake, but ye are wise in Hamashiach. We are weak, but ye are strong. Ye are honorable, but we are despised.
Who was it that cut off Holofernes' head? Was that Judith or Esther? Judith, right? What did Judith say when it was like, all right, we'll give it about 5 days. If we don't hear nothing in about 5 days, and we'll just give up. What did she say?
Said we shouldn't tempt the Lord. Like that.
That's one thing, but there was one important thing that she said. Judith.
I got the scripture.
Hit me, brother.
Yeah. But it say, Judah 5:20. Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error against this people, and they sin against their power, let us consider that they shall be their ruin.
Right.
And let us go up, and we shall overcome them.
Right.
But if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest the Lord defend them.
Right. Now, what did Judith say though? She said, "We ain't been breaking the laws. What are we scared for?" She's like, man, she did her hair, braided her hair, put her earrings in, got dressed, washed up, right? Brought her girl down there. They went down. I'm gonna cut this nigga head off. That's the mentality that she had. Why? What are y'all scared for? We're not doing nothing wrong. We're not doing it. We're keeping our laws. We're following what the Heavenly Father asked us to do. We don't have to be scared of them. And those moments like that were to show the state of the nation. Like people always bring up Deborah, right? Her existence and her rise to power wasn't to show that, oh, girls can do it too. That wasn't what the purpose of that was. The purpose was to show the state of mind of our nation. That it had to, a woman's power had to go and to prove the power of the Heavenly Father because they didn't believe. That's all it takes. You don't have to. You don't need a gun. You don't need weapons of warfare. You don't need none of that. We got the word, man. And if you don't believe that there's power in words, then how did we get here?
Especially in that name.
How do we get here? If there's no power in the name, if there's no power in the words of the scriptures, how are we here? You know you're an Israelite because of what the word said. That in itself is powerful. For a man to get out of his limousine and say, we spent millions of dollars to make sure you guys didn't figure that out, and you figured it out anyway. There's power in those scriptures, man.
What your man say in the book of Eli, if I only had the book,
Right.
the book had the word.
Right. It's not a book.
Right.
It's a weapon.
That's right. He's right.
Go ahead.
Back you up. Ecclesiastes chapter 9 verse 18. Wisdom is better than weapons of war.
Yeah.
But one sinner destroys much good.
Right. Wisdom is better than weapons of war, man.
Right. Them cats did not have wisdom. Okay, they went up there with weapons of war. They went up there ready to combat and do all kinds. Not that they're going to combat, but they wanted to show their might, their military might, which is feeble, man. Real fucking feeble, man. Go ahead.
I got to appreciate.
Can you read it?
The book of Proverbs, chapter 19, verse 23. The fear of the Lord tendeth to life, and he that hath it shall abide satisfied.
That's it, man.
He shall not be visited with evil.
That's it. You won't be visited with evil if you believe in the Lord. Go ahead, brother.
So this is Matthew 10:16.
Yeah.
Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves.
That's it.
And that's a military tactic because I know that if I have a stronger opponent, right, and he has a weapon a mightier weapon that I do, I gotta circumvent that weapon and find another means of taking him down. That's just common sense will tell you that, man.
That's right.
You know?
That's right. They like Kung Fu has this style called the Drunken Master. Right? And what is the purpose of it? What's the purpose of that style?
The purpose is to basically make people think that you're
weak,
stupid,
that you don't know.
Correct. There's a book called the Laws of Power.
Yep.
And that's one of the laws of power. The laws of power is to make people think that you're stupid, so that they can lower their guard and you can pretty much take them over.
Correct.
You know who did that? Denzel Washington did that in the book of Eli. You remember when he sat at the bar, the dude came over, that cat's been there for 30 years.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It won't happen again. You know, and you can clear the whole vial, right? The whole vial. You know?
Yeah, when he had the spit coming out of his mouth.
Right.
Yes, you see, the scriptures have the answers.
Let me back you up, Elton.
Yeah.
Proverbs 2 verse 10.
Getting sauce.
Proverbs 2 verse 10. When wisdom enter into thine heart, and knowledge is also thee, discretion shall preserve thee.
Right.
Understanding shall keep thee.
Discretion shall preserve thee. Discretion. You don't gotta tell people I got the strap. Come on, man, I'll get that thing go out there. You don't gotta do that.
Some pillow talking cat.
Yeah. Tell that girl, hug me. Yeah, you should have saw how I was loading up the mag, girl. I was putting the bullets in there, girl, giving tears, ass up. You know?
They got a saying in Spanish, perro que ladra no muerde, means a barking dog never bites. Because, I'm more scared of a person that's quiet, that's sublime, that's low. Even the scriptures tell you that anybody's considered wise, if they hold their tongue. Just say that, because you're more dangerous to somebody when you're mysterious. You don't know what you're gonna do. You're more,
they don't know how to read.
You're more dangerous.
I have a problem with that. I like to talk. I'm gonna talk.
Hey, if I may, I've been wanting to. I got the definition of sovereignty because I think. It's so sovereignty. It's supreme power authority. It says the authority of a state to govern itself or another state.
Yep.
It says national sovereignty of a self-governing state.
So what Moore say is, right, I am a sovereign state, right? I can govern myself. I don't need any outside body to govern what I am and what I do. And that's the principle, right? And really, the Constitution is about sovereignty, personal sovereignty, right? Because what it's saying is, as America, we don't need anybody else. We don't need anything. We're self-sufficient. We can live off our own land. We don't need anything outside of us. And the Constitution gives that right all the way down to the citizen.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it, bro. I was just helping you out.
Yeah, it says here, the synonym, this is what I meant to bring out, it says jurisdiction, supremacy, dominion, power, ascendancy, tyranny, hegemony, domination, sway, predominance, authority, control, influence, rule, Raj regiment.
So you being in control of your own self.
Right.
You being dominant over yourself. You don't need any outside, and really that's what you want. Right, because that's what the law, statutes, commandments does. It gives you the right to live your life without somebody outside of your life hindering you. That's right. That's what the law, statutes, commandments is for. So now, if you want to have a wife, you can have a wife without the threat of that wife being taken. If you want to have land, you can have that land without the threat of that land being taken. That's what the law, statutes, commandments is for your sovereignty. That's what all law is for. People think law is to, hey, here we go again. They telling us what to do. No, laws protect you. They're not to stop you. They're to protect you so you can live life.
That's why in the kingdom, to go one part of that pressure up, we're going to give you more because you're going to have the law, statutes.
Right. We'll have slaves in the kingdom. The other nations will be in servitude to us, but they will have their own land to do the things that they need to do. They will have to be in tribute to us, mind, body, and soul, right? But they will have their own sovereignty, so to speak. They'll be able to get married. They'll be able to have land, right? Because the scriptures tell us this, right? There's the proof of it. It says that the forces of the Gentiles will be converted unto us. They have to have forces in order to convert them to us, right? In order for those, like when you think of King Solomon and his kingdom, those 40 years was a prelude to what the kingdom was going to be like, right? Like if he didn't have something, he would hire another nation. Like when he hired Hiram to go get peacocks and cedars and all of those different things, that's going to happen in the kingdom. But for somebody else to be able to do that, Hiram had to be of a certain status. He had to have a first of all a fleet of ships to be able to travel to the Americas to go get those things, right? So Hiram wasn't no bum. Like we think of slaves, oh yes, man, I'm picking cotton and all that. No, Hiram was the man. Where he was at, where Hiram was, he was the guy. But he gave his life to Solomon and really for the reputation of David, because Hiram loved David, right? So he had a certain respect for Solomon because of the work his dad put in, if you will, right? So that we can understand it, right? Your dad put in a certain amount of work. Where you go, you're gonna be all right. You know what I mean? It's the same thing what happened. That's so Hiram, though he was in tribute to Solomon, right? He still was his slave. I mean, he still was the man, right? Where he was.
But I say Most High told Abraham all the way in the beginning, Genesis 12, that all the nations of the earth is going to be blessed through your seed.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So the world is going to be in harmony, right? Because what the scriptures say this, that you cannot serve two masters, right? Amen. So what brings harmony then? That there's one master, that there's one rulership. We talk about, oh, they trying to implement the New World Order. Yeah, so are we. So are we, just in righteousness. One world or one government is not wrong. It's the people that are in control of the one government that's wrong. Because that's what we're trying to do. Right? Isn't that what we're saying? That the Lord, Yahushua, is the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords?
Right. Your light's on.
You got your light on, bro.
Lights on.
Light.
Oh.
Yep.
This is Isaiah 2:1.
Yep.
The word that Isaiah, the son of Amos, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem, and it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's
Right.
house
What's
shall-
that? Two?
Yep. So I'm reading it.
No, it's so good. That's my fault. I cut you.
It says, and it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountain.
That's right.
It shall be exalted above the hills.
Right.
All nations shall flow
Right.
unto
So
it.
that means there's going to be other hills. There's going to be other mountains, right? But they better, when they have their little summits, they better be making sure that they ask us first. That the content of the conversation for their summits is in line with what the Lord Yahushua wants for the earth.
And I doubt all these nations that in that time are going to be rebellious, because they're going to see the works of the Lord, man. They're going to see the works of Yahweh Yahushua with the thermonuclear missiles. Our enemies are going to behold us going up into the chariots. They're going to see these things, and when we come down, they're going to know who we are. They're going to know who we are, man, and there's going to be very little resistance, I believe. But for Esau and Edom, them on the other hand, I mean, we're probably going to have chief men in Edom. They're going to be the ones that are going to be, handling the direction of Edomites, But at the same time, are they going to be in some type of status where they can just or decline what we say? Hell no.
Right. Ham, he gonna be out there. He gonna say, Master, we was over here. We saw a couple of Edomites. They said they didn't want to come out the whole of the day. Sabbath is over, Master. They got to come up out. That's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. But they're gonna have to be of a certain status to be able to come to us. Ain't no average everyday person just gonna be going. Do you talk to President Biden? No. Why? He got a higher status than you. You're not gonna go see Biden. You're not gonna go just walk in the State House. Yeah, I got a meeting today. No. Yeah, no, you don't got a meeting today. Who are you? You got to be of a certain status to come over here. So that means they're gonna have certain status then. Correct. You can say that out loud, brother.
We're going to establish order amongst even the nations.
Right.
Even though we have customs of order we have to follow.
Right.
It's likewise with the other nations.
Right.
That's why the scripture says, when the righteous bear rule, people are going to rejoice.
Right.
They're going to actually rejoice. These other nations are going to actually rejoice when we get back in order, man. They're going to get their fair shot, their lot. They're going to get their land. We're going to give them some, some direction. Right. Give them some, some type of authority over their people. Right.
Right. Just like when you build a shed in your yard, you got to go to Esau and say, look, I just bought this property. There's a plot of land over on the side. They're gonna have to do that. They want to knock down the mountain. Okay, fine. If you want to knock the mountain down, that's fine because you want a quicker way to the waterway. You want to build a bridge or something. Okay, that's fine. You got to come see us first, and we got to make sure that it's good for everybody, not just you. Right? Go ahead.
To add to what you're saying, basically, when you want to do some type of construction in your own home, you have to go get a permit from the city hall, so that you're able to do that. I guess under law.
Yep. And that's how the world and our kingdom is going to be run. There's still going to be. Hey, do you have a permit for that?
Right. There's
still going to be. Are you in the proper jurisdiction? Are you where you belong? Those things are still going to happen.
You encroaching upon Ham's
land.
Right.
That's right. Right. all those things are still going to be in play. It's just going to be in righteousness. You're not going to feel a strain. You're like if somebody wants to build something on their own property, you're not going to feel like, oh damn, now I got to sneak and do it because they're gonna raise the taxes, or you know what I mean?
Right.
You can't build it over a certain height because it's, you know what I mean? It's crazy.
Right.
You're not going to feel those types of restraints. It's going to be in righteousness, man. We're going to be a benevolent, fair nation, man. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, man, it goes to show how the wickedness on this side, you ain't gonna have to worry if a pipeline is gonna be built through a natural water source.
Right. Or they
Yeah,
drilling
yeah.
and the fish is just dying. The fish just keep flipping upside down, but you steady drilling to get some goddamn oil. That's wickedness, man. It has to, your actions have to be suitable for everyone, not just you. And that's what our nation is going to be about. Is this good for everybody? Is everybody going to benefit from what you're doing? Right? Is this going to hinder somebody else's freedom? Right? They got this thing. I recommend this book if you haven't read it. Was it Confessions of an Economic Hitman? There was a part of the book where he said that here you had these kids. He saw these kids that were in the river, and they were playing in the river. It was hot day, so they was in the river playing. Up the river, somebody was shitting in the river. Here, these kids are playing. They're pissing and shitting in the same river, right? That's not right. But the reason why those circumstances exist, because America's over there putting all kinds of toxic waste in the land. Because now along with the piss and shit, further up the river, Esau is building dams for the water to supply some electricity for the upper echelon, right? So it has to be good for everyone. For the last person. We have a law in the scriptures about gleaning. You know what gleaning is, right? Gleaning is when you leave a little bit for the next guy. If you're a farmer and you have grapes, you take enough, right? And then you leave 10% of that to the people that don't have it. So that's good, not only for you and your household, but for the last man that don't have nothing. Why do you think the Queen of Sheba was so intrigued by Solomon? Right? Why? Because even his servant looked like a king. She looked at him like, damn, this motherfucker, he wouldn't be dressed like this. If he was in my land, I wouldn't be letting my servant be looking like me. That's why she thought this gotta be Solomon, because look at what he got on. This gotta be him. That's righteousness.
Right.
Is it good for everybody else, or is it only good for you? Go ahead.
If I may add, since you brought up farming, our land Sabbath.
Correct.
We're not supposed to till what 6 years you till in 1 year.
Correct.
And rest.
Correct.
Esau eating the so-called white man
Until there's nothing left. Until there's nothing left. You can't even grow a proper grape.
Exactly.
What is a GMO? What is that? Don't explain it. I see you looking for the answer. Don't explain something like this. Why would you make something like that?
Right.
The Heavenly Father said in the Genesis, the first chapter, that all things have bearing seed in itself. So that means from the person to the plant, you got seed. It never dies. Nothing ever dies.
Right.
You always have enough. Nothing runs out. If we got things like refrigerators, right? Why do we have refrigerators? To make sure the food doesn't rot, right? The apple can rot, and what happens? The seed comes out and plants itself again. The Heavenly Father is perfect, but Esau made a GMO. What is it? Do you know that a GMO seed, once it's out of the fruit, it can't do anything ever again? Why would you want to do that?
Right.
Go ahead, bro. Slock.
Esau, he treats death.
Yeah.
So that's what that is.
Right.
The Heavenly Father, he made the perfect recycling system.
With everything.
With everything.
Like that's
Decomposing
Yep.
is the thing that
right. That's cancer. Cancer is basic, in a basic sense, is your body's always replenishing.
Right.
But what cancer is you're not ridding of the waste. That's all it is. The cells that break down in the body, they stay there. That's all cancer is. And that shows the Heavenly Father's perfection. Even in something like cancer, shows how perfect the Heavenly Father is. And you got a people on the earth right now that are trying to do the opposite of that. Yeah.
Esau said that he'll be like the Heavenly Father.
Right.
So if you're trying to circumvent something that's already super great. You gotta rewrite that great and try to become come up with something even far greater than that. And that's what
Which is impossible. Which is why there's so much sickness, right? Which is why there's so much death, right? Oh, he had one. Okay.
Revelation 11 and 18. And the nations were angry, and that wrath is come in the time of the dead.
Right. Why were the nations angry? Right. Not only that, but here it is, right? If you, this is what that book that I'm talking about gives this thing context, like, because what the economic hitman goes in there to do, his job was data. You know what data is? It's basically information turned into numbers, so that you can have a picture of what something is going to be, right? You can by the past things that happen. Here's what this number is projected. This is what it's projecting, right? What the economic hitman does, he goes in and he says, look, if you get a power plant in your country, here's what's going to happen in your country by the data, right? But what they do is they play with the numbers, right? So that it looks like this grandiose thing. So the people in the countrymen, they go, oh yeah, let's do it. But what happens? You take all the natural resources of the land. Now the poor of the land don't have anything, right? So when you read the scripture, when it says the nations are mad, people aren't stupid forever. They look around and go, you know what? These motherfuckers lied. They lied. Like, they told us that we was gonna be good. This was gonna help us. But like this, it's not helping. Look at our country. Right. And this is when you get people like all these world leaders that have been killed. What's this guy? Saddam, Gaddafi. All of these different world leaders that have died. You know why? Because they had the realization, hold on, this ain't helping. Right. This is not helping. We gotta do this ourselves. This guy Gaddafi, his goal was to not depend on the dollar for nothing. I don't even want anybody spewing the word dollar around here. The gold standard. And what happened to him? He's gone.
Right, he wanted you pay him in gold.
Right.
He didn't want that money.
They broke their tree.
Correct. Almost everything. Which is how you're supposed to. Why would you if you're a ruler, right? It would benefit you to educate the people that are beneath you. Why? Because now you can use their intelligence for your nation. Why would you make somebody have to pay for something that you're going to use? Right. Why would you do that? And these people, these world leaders, they realize this, and this is why the nations were mad. I'm sorry, bro. Keep reading on that.
Revelation 11 and 18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come.
Right.
In the time of the dead, that they should be judged.
Right.
And thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets,
right,
and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth.
Right. Shouldest destroy them that destroy the earth, man. The people are not dumb forever. They're like, oh shit, hey, we got this power plant. Like you look here, right? Look at downtown Boston, right? It's like this extravagant thing. Don't say beautiful. The elder doesn't like that word for this city. But if you look around, look at how extravagant this is. Look at it. Look at these. This is. If you can see more of it if you go on the other side of the garden, right? You take a look back this way. It's like, wow, like, look what Esau did, man. This shit is incredible. But then you go a little bit further down that way, and you see it looks like shit. That's the picture for every country in the world because of Esau. Because of Esau. Go ahead, bro.
Washington, D.C. is the worst.
The worst of it. Here it is. This is the capital, so-called, of the United States, right? Right. But if you go like a 5 to 10 mile radius around the stuff you see on postcards or something, the White House and the Capitol and all of that, it looks like garbage. Yeah. So your plush lifestyle shouldn't be at the expense of the lowest man. That's what the kingdom is going to be. Your plushness should never be at the expense of the little guy. Go ahead.
Sirach 14 and 5. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good?
Right.
He shall not take pleasure in his good.
Right. How are they being evil to themselves? By destroying the very place that they got to live in. the earth should be every ruler's primary concern. Why? Because that's where you live, right? Like, think about it. If you own a home, what's your first thing is to pay the mortgage. All the other bills are like supplementary. Like, as long as you got a roof over your head, you can make your way, right? So you pay your mortgage or your rent first, and then all the other bills, it trickles out from there, right? So the place you live is the primary concern. Because if you don't have a place to live, then you have to worry about electricity. You don't have a place to live, right? So if, as a ruler, you should take care of your house first. That's a biblical principle. Doesn't it say that? Yes, right. You're going to be a bishop, right? You have to first rule your house first. So that principle is not just there. That principle is the same. The higher you and the higher you go, the more important that principle is. You can't rule a nation if your house isn't in order. Let me say it this way: you can't rule a church if your house is not in order. You can't rule a nation if your church is not in order. You can't rule the world if your nation is not in order. It's the same all the way up. Go ahead.
Back in Ecclesiasticus chapter 10, I go to verse 3. An unwise king destroyeth his people.
Right.
But through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited.
Destroyeth his people. Why would you make somebody pay to go to college? Why would you do that?
Right.
You're gonna, whatever that person becomes, it gets fed back into the economy.
Right.
Why are you making them pay for that? It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Unless it's run by wickedness.
Unless it's run by wickedness. And which brings us full circle. That's why this place has to be destroyed.
Right.
Not because the shape of America, the Lord don't like the shape of it, so He's gonna destroy. No, the wicked people that rule out of here, this is the throne of the rulership. It has to be taken out because the people are wicked, man. Go ahead.
Why do you have to pay a lawyer before you came out guilty? Because that's the way they do things. So
I say that one more time.
It's like they have you paying like the courts and the lawyers.
Right. The court system is a big racket. It's a big racket. Like for instance, right? If somebody kills your mother, right? Why do I gotta go to the cops to get justice for that?
The scriptures say differently.
Right. Why? And why, if I killed the guy, why am I going to jail?
Yep.
Why? Why would you do that? The Lord made the law, statutes, commandments so that we can govern ourselves.
That's right.
That's what the law, statutes, and commandments are for. So that we don't need a king. Everybody's responsible for everybody.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
And that's why America pushes democracy to the other nation, destroying the other nation with that democracy.
Right. Right. Democracy is the worst form of government.
Democracy.
It's the worst form of government. Because let's say if the way you prove something is dysfunctional, you expand it. You put the principle in other forms. Right? So let's say like in your house, there's more in my house, there's more kids than there are adults. Right? If democracy worked, then they should be able to make the decision. There's more of them than there are of me. They should be able. Is that going to work? No, because you know why? They'll have chocolate cake, like Bill Cosby. Dad is great. Give me the chocolate cake. That might be a both. That is I'm surprised you don't know that one, right? Oh, you know the chocolate cake bit, right? So the kids will eat chocolate cake every single day, cookies every single day. And what's going to happen? They're going to die. So democracy doesn't work then. If it doesn't work in every, this is why the importance of parables and metaphors, because it shows continuity of the principle of the thing. And if the principle stands in every form, then that means that is true, and it means it's right, and I should do it.
Right. That's why a mark 2 + 2
correct
is 4 in every single.
No matter where you go.
No matter where you go.
That's what makes something true. If it's the same everywhere. You had this guy Polite saying, like, you ever heard of the Epic of Gilgamesh? You ever heard of that? It's a story of the flood. So his thing is the Bible plagiarized the story of the flood. But if you understand what the Bible is and you understand that it's an account of something from a perspective of a nation, then you say, oh, it's just like if Maine had, like the story we've been talking about this morning. We had a story about them having a standoff on 95. If California puts it on their news station, does that mean they plagiarized it? No, it just means that something happened and you got two different places that have a different perspective of what happened. Right? So if it's the same everywhere, that's what makes it true. So go ahead.
This is Isaiah 14. We start at verse 4. It says, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased? The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath was a continual stroke. He that ruled the nation in anger is persecuted and unhindered.
He ruled the nations in anger. Why? Because power was his concern. Esau thinks that the more power he has, the more reverence he gets. But it's quite the contrary. Because the Lord Yahushua got reverence by being what? Meek. That's how he got his reverence. Right? The reason why the Lord Yahushua is going to be the ruler of the whole world is not because he was powerful. It's because he came meek first. But Esau thinks it's by power that you get reverence. No. Keep going.
Verse 7. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing.
Correct.
Yea, the fir tree rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no fellow is come against us.
Imagine that, man. The trees gonna be like, I'm glad y'all got rid of them, man, because they was just cutting and chopping. Like, wow, like the rainforest, right? Like we have like each body of water, like or like when you're driving on the highway, you see these wooded areas. They each have a little ecosystem, right? But the world is a bigger scale of an ecosystem. Like the rainforests in Brazil affect what happens in Australia on the other side of the world, right? Because it's a part of a larger ecosystem. But what do they do in Brazil? They cutting and cutting and cutting them trees, man, in that rainforest. For what? I don't know. Maybe it's for a good purpose. I don't know.
I think mostly to push the Native Americans that's lived in one here out. Because like they the same thing in Argentina too. They push a lot of them into Brazil. Now the one that in Brazil they're doing the same thing. You know?
The movie Avatar is a real story. Yes. Yep. You can't sustain yourself if you don't have no food, right?
Yeah, and if I may add, I watched it the other day. If you brothers didn't catch it, it's called The Lorax. It's a Dr. Seuss movie.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
If you have, being that you have kids, you can watch these movies, man. But there's always some good nuggets in there, man. Lorax is a good movie. But have you ever read the book?
No.
The book is about greed, being greedy, and that's what the movie's about, right? But it puts the greed on a person. And right, and the person happens to be an Edomite, right?
Yep.
But what the moral of the story is, if you don't care about everybody else around you, nothing's going to work. If you only do things for yourself, nothing works. Nothing works. And you might surmount a certain amount of wealth, right? The Onceler, he surmounted a bunch of wealth, right? But what happened after all the trees was gone? His business failed, right? Because that's what he depended on. And the Lorax told him, he said, look, don't cut these trees, man. Don't if you want to make your little widget or gidget, whatever you got, just pick it off. Don't cut the trees down. These animals, they live here. Cut the trees down, the animals had to relocate. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, man, and the reason why I had mentioned it because the brother said how the whole earth is gonna break forth singing. So at the end, everybody was singing because people didn't have to pay for air. The trees was growing, so the animals got to come back.
Yeah,
to
they
the
got
land.
to come back. What was they doing when they came back? They was singing, dancing, swimming, synchronized swimming. Hey, you gotta watch these movies, man. It's crazy. I'm like, man, this is a heavy movie for a kid.
That's what's gonna happen in the long run.
Right.
When we get set back up in the kingdom, the animals gonna be happy. The trees gonna be more than, and the animals gonna be out ecstatic. The people, everybody's gonna be in the right order. Right. This is gonna be a beautiful thing.
The lions don't gotta worry
right
about
now.
no
we gotta suffer the abominations that be in the midst of us right now, and the Lord's gonna make sure that we suffer it over here, because it's gonna get worse before it gets better. You know, go ahead, brother.
Right. So I got a precept backing up that in the kingdom, everybody's gonna be doing well. This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 12, verse 8. In that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as God, as the angel of the Lord before them.
Right, now with these people over here, you see, you know, the homeless people that are up in here, the jakes that are up in here, right now they're looked at as scum of the earth. But they're gonna be kings when the Lord brings us back into the kingdom, man. They're gonna be set back up in their rulership. And you best believe, man, the Lord's gonna put the spirit on certain people to remember certain things when we get back into that kingdom. When these devils that get hemmed up and put in slavery, I believe the Lord's gonna put the spirit on them to reflect back, like, oh shit, that's who that was. I didn't spit on this dude, he was laying there on the ground, and the whole shit. Yeah, motherfuckers gonna be trembling in that day, man. It's gonna be a beautiful thing. And this is what we waiting for, man. Go ahead.
Proverbs 18 verse 12. Before destruction, the heart of a man is haughty, and before honor is humility.
That's right. Read that again. Before destruction.
Before destruction, the heart of a man is haughty.
Haughty.
Yeah. And before honor is humility.
That's right. So the time is coming, man, where the Lord's gonna stop putting that spirit on everybody, and it's gonna be done, man. We understand and know that the Lord, Yahweh Shai, is gonna put that spirit on everybody, as He said He's going to do. And the time is coming when we're gonna stop whooping some ass out here, man.
That's right.
It's gonna be a beautiful thing. Yo, you got something?
Yeah. 2 Ezra chapter 8 verse 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride.
Right, and this is one of my favorite scriptures right here. For many great miseries are gonna come upon these people, everybody. Even us as the hopeful elect, man. We're not greater than the Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai went through pure hell, man. So we're gonna go through some hell. Alright? And the Lord's gonna see to it that we, like He said, but He shall be saved out of it. So the hell that the Lord's gonna put on everybody, He's gonna grab us and preserve us that we don't see total hell, man. Because it's gonna be a real bad time out here. And I feel that the majority of you people who listen, who scoff and make mockery of us, I got a pretty good feeling the Lord's gonna do away with a lot of you people, man. Alright? That's all right. Go ahead.
1 Peter chapter 4 verse 17 and 18. For the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of the Most High.
Yep.
And if it first begin at us, what shall be the end? What shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of the Most High? And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear?
Right. That's right. The righteous scarcely be saved, because once again, the house of the Lord is gonna suffer a lot of fucking violence, man. A lot of pain in these upcoming months and these upcoming days. Lord willing, He speeds it up, man. I'm tired of seeing these niggas out here just bullshitting, laughing, giggling, making mockery of what's going on around here. These people need to be punished, man. And you're gonna be punished. And it's gonna start at the house of Israel, because you're gonna get it the worst. You the Lord's people, man. This destruction and this hell coming up wasn't really meant for you. But because you're so goddamn rebellious, because you're wicked as all hell, you're gonna suffer, man. A lot of you people are gonna suffer. And it's gonna be a beautiful thing to watch you suffer. Why? Because you've been warned, we've been telling you. Give me Proverbs, the first chapter.
I got it right here.
Yep. Go ahead, brother.
20?
Yeah, start at 20.
Alright, this is Proverbs 1 and 20. Wisdom cried without, she utters her voice in the streets.
Right, and this is what we talk about. Going out in the highways and byways, letting your face be seen, letting your words be heard, letting your voice be heard. You see? A lot of men out there are afraid to do these things. They're afraid that their boss may see them. If you out here in the highways and byways week in and week out, chances are, man, you believe in this thing, man. You truly believe in this thing. But there have been men that have come out. We have guys that come out and listen. And just because they got a good job or what have you, I don't want to be sitting on the camera, so we don't put the, they step aside and they'll never show up again. You pan that camera around in the audience a little bit, you guys like, oh shit. Right, they be sitting there like, oh shit. Sweating this shit like, damn. Right, oh shit. And I'm like, I wonder if they're gonna put this on the internet. I wonder if it's gonna give,
Watch the video,
man. Yeah, many of you guys come up, throughout the years, man. Next thing you know, we put this on the internet. And like this, oh shit. Fucking deer in the headlights and shit, man. But once again, man, wisdom cried through the out. She uttered her voice in the streets. This is where it's at, man. This is where it's at. We don't come out here ready to go to war with some guns and ready to fight Esau straight up, man. As much wickedness as the devil has done to our people, we know better than to go out there and try to start a war with Esau. Especially a war with fucking guns, man. Esau's the king of the crop of the guns. Don't you know the sword, that was his blessing? The sword was his blessing. You're fighting against the Heavenly Father when you try to go against Esau, man. You try to go against the ordinance of the heaven of the Most High, brother. You're trying to go against the ordinance, man. Esau's gonna fuck you niggas up, man. Esau's gonna do some damage on you people, man. Go ahead, bro.
Oh, man, if I may add, first they're gonna take this shit. And the reason why I say that is California got the toughest gun laws was because, you know, to tap back what we were speaking on earlier, you had Huey P. Newton and Barbie Seale that was these educated college grad niggas. They thought they knew the law. So when they thought they was gonna walk up on back when Ronald Reagan was the senator of California.
Oh yeah, these niggas is tripping.
Yeah, so they went, and that's the first time that the NRA was actually with Ronald Reagan to make sure that them gun laws, so that's why they got the assault rifle ban out there in Cali, all because the Black Panthers carried firearms and they took them shits from them.
Right, special. Yeah, brother.
Yeah, when I read those comments under that happened yesterday, you see people saying no, we should blast them off the earth or something like that. But mostly Esau, I'm reading this thing, I'm kind of laughing.
Esau can't wait.
Esau saying, yo, if they should get them, you see. I said, man, this guy really devil out here, man. You know what I mean? Because they wouldn't wait. But I said, but us, when we went out the scripture out, they couldn't say the same thing. They want to say the same thing, but they couldn't, because they say, because everybody gonna be attacked if they say something like that. You know what I mean? So that's a spiritual battle.
Real quick, the scriptures say all things are lawful, but not all things are expedient. Now, if you got a gun license, you got a gun, all right, it's lawful.
Yeah, right.
You lawfully have the ability to carry a gun, you know, but is it expedient to walk around? Because, you know, in Massachusetts, it's a concealed. It's a concealed law. You can carry the concealed weapon. It's not showing you got it underneath your shit or whatever. But these niggas want to get out and, you know, have their guns picked over while niggas pumping gas. I can see if all hell was breaking loose. You know, we in the middle of fucking anarchy in the Thunderdome out here. And niggas trying to get gas and take your shit. Then you gonna be like, all right, you know, gas it up, bro. Gas it up. Fill it up.
Till 2093.
These niggas on the highway gassing up, delivering gas tank. Them niggas standing by, marching and shit on, looking all tough and shit. That's not expedient, man. That's not expedient. You know, we're gonna keep going back to that because it brings up good points in the fact that you gotta roll in the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, as us men do. You know, we're not gonna roll in a carnal spirit and be like, yeah, that's a wise. Let's go get our guns and go get gas tanks and pull over on the highway and fill her up. You know? All right, go ahead, brother.
Zephaniah chapter 3 verse 8. Therefore wait ye upon me, says the Lord, until the day thou wast up to the prey.
Right, so our job is to come out here and prophesy the downfall of America, prophesy the downfall of these kings and these nations and this beast and this bitch called, this harlot called Babylon. That's our job, man. We've been gainfully employed by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, there's gonna come a point in time where we ain't gonna be preaching, we ain't gonna be fishing, okay? We're gonna be killing. So that time is not yet to be seen, you know. But you best believe we gotta wait till the Lord puts that spirit on us to go out and do these things, right?
I got one.
Go ahead, brother.
Romans 13 verse 4. For he is the minister of God to thee for good. But if thou do that which is evil, be afraid. For he beareth not the sword in vain.
That's right.
For he is the minister of God, a revenger, to execute the wrath upon him that doeth evil.
You know, when you think about how the Lord set this thing up, and you truly understand the dynamics of what's going on here, who he left in power on this side, who he instructed to be the hammer of the whole earth, then you understand, like, all right, your position. You understand your place. We know that we're the Israelites. We know that we're the Lord's chosen people. But we also know we're not in our kingdom. We also know that it's not in our power to overthrow this government. Okay? So you got to be circumspect as well. You got to be wise as well to understand what you're involved in and what you're doing. You got a lot of jakes out there, like we said, you know, you got jakes going to camp with guns. That's not wise. That's not wise. You may have a gun license. You may have taken a test and got your gun permit and went and bought you know, the sharpest gun on the shelf. And now you take it out to camp and you want to run around and pull your shit on a nigga who's drunk. Well, I mean, what kind of a man of the Lord are you? You know, man of the Lord's gonna say, all right, man, get on out of here, man. We understand you drinking, going up the road. They don't want to pull out like, yo, what you want? Who else wants to die out here tonight? That's shit. You man, the nigga might know martial arts and snap your shit out your hand and bust a shot in your ass with your own shit, man. You know the Lord is good like that. The Lord will fucking like, all right, nigga, want to pull his gun? Okay. You know what happened with Joab? Okay. Go ahead.
I got a precept backing up what you said that this is not our kingdom. We gotta be circumspect. It's the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sword destruction.
Yep. And this place will definitely do that. It is polluted. It will destroy you, even with a sword destruction. All right. Don't try to tempt the Lord, man. Don't go against the hand of the Lord, man. And I meant to say Josias. When Josias went against the word of the Lord was telling, what was that? Who was he going up against in battle?
He went to fight against the Egyptians.
The Egyptians?
Yeah, the Egyptians, because the Egyptians told him that, listen, this is not
your battle.
It's not your
It's
battle.
not your battle.
You know,
Joab knew the Lord was with him. Ramoth Gilead, right? Con. Yep. And the Lord and he knew it wasn't his battle. But he was like, yo, I'm Josias. I throw the best Passover, and you know the Lord is with me, so I'm gonna go up into the battle. But the Lord didn't want him, so we got smoked, you know. Likewise on this side, man, don't go against the program of the Lord. If you go against the word of the Lord, you're gonna get destroyed, man. Because the Lord put things in certain order. Our position wasn't to be put on this earth to be prophets and to go out and overthrow Esau, Edom in this time period. That's not how, you got Jakes out there trying to do it, man. Riding with guns and all kinds of shit. Go ahead, brother.
This is 2 Thessalonians 2:8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming.
Right, so spiritually, we're breaking down the strongholds of Esau right now. We're exposing him spiritually. That's our position. That's our job as prophets, our servants of the Lord, to spiritually break down these strongholds over here in Babylon. Okay? And the more spiritual we break this place down, the more exposed and the more fearful these devils get, man. That's right. They're very fearful of the Hebrew Israelites. Why don't you think they don't put the real true brothers out there on the highways and byways on the TV, man? Exactly. For as long as brothers have been out there teaching this thing solidly and sincerely, 100% wise, you don't see Esau coming to brothers' camps. These guys are teaching 100% truth. Why? Because they're afraid that this word is going to get out. So what they do is they'll put out the bullshit. They'll put out some shit that's going to turn people's stomach. Right. They're going to put out some shit that's going to make brothers look like they ain't shit. You know, you got some companies guys over there. They was on the news, dude wearing all black, and he's screaming up top of his lungs and all kinds of shit, man. You got different groups out there doing different things. But this is what Esau wants to glorify or publicize to the world about who the so-called black Hebrew Israelites are. But they ain't coming to a great millstone camp, hearing the word, hearing that truth, going through that history. They ain't receiving that because they know that was an open invitation for all those who have the spirit of understanding on them, or who have been craving for that spirit of understanding. All right, go ahead.
To back you up, this is 2 Corinthians 13:8.
Go ahead.
For we can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth.
Right, we can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. And being out here on the highways and byways is for the truth. And it's for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, showing our faith, showing our diligence, trying to make our calling and election sure. This is why we come out and do what we do, man. And not to mention, it's a labor of love. We love being out here, man. You know, when we first started coming in, we used to come out on Saturdays. But the way brothers' work schedules were, it was more convenient, if you will, for brothers to come out on Sunday. All right, but when we first started coming out, I was like, damn, oh man, we're gonna have to go out on every Saturday, you know, because we were going back and forth to New York at that time. And when certain things were said at that time, we was like, yo, we gotta set up shop out here, you know. And after that first couple weeks, I didn't want to go out to the club anymore on Saturday. I didn't want to be involved with all that shit. It was strictly come out, come home, read some more, watch videos, you know, and be in the spirit, man. Go ahead.
So 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 10. We are fools for Yahushua's sake.
That's right.
But ye are wise in Yahushua.
Isn't that what people call us? Oh, you guys are fools. You guys are stupid out there. You guys say the same thing. You've been saying the same thing for 13 years. So what? Noah prophesied about the world being flooded for 100 plus years, man. And you know what? It came to pass and it happened. That's right. So you best believe what we're doing out here. But I'll say this though. Those who do see us out here, in the beginning they may have said, oh, these guys are fools, they're crazy. But when they see us out here in them fucking frigid cold weather, the burning hot heat, consistently, year after year after year after year after year after year, you know what? They pretty much changed their view on us, man.
This guy, Cedric Maxwell.
Cedric Maxwell.
He came up, he was laughing, man. He was like, man, I gotta say one thing about y'all. Y'all sure enough diligent or something along those lines.
Yeah. You know? And that doesn't come just because we want to, we in the spirit, man. And we truly believe in this thing. We come out here and make our bodies that living sacrifice. Go ahead, brother. You got it?
Let me just finish the last little sentence. He says, we are weak, but ye are strong. Ye are honorable, but we are despised.
Right, we are despised. People will look at us like, oh, I can't stand them niggas. I can't stand them black Hebrew Israelites. They're talking about rape and this, that, and the third. They can't stand us. You know what? But you can't resist us either, baby. You can't resist, as the scriptures say. They can neither gainsay nor resist. Okay? You get locked in. The Spirit, the Lord will have you locked into this thing, and you'll be listening. Next thing you know, you're like, oh shit. Yo, people learn an awful lot from the men of the Lord on the highways and byways, man. Especially when it goes into their history. The shit that their school and their educational system has never taught them, man. Going back to, some of the things Alexander had done with his generals and things like that. Okay? Go ahead, I'm gonna come right to you, brothers. Go ahead.
Romans 12, verse 1, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High.
Right, by the mercies of the Most High. Right. The Lord has given us mercy. He showed us mercy to be able to handle His word, man. To be able to do His work. That's mercy, man. Look at all the cats that don't want to be a part of this thing or can't be a part of this thing. The Lord didn't show them no mercy, man. He didn't show them any type of mercy. And now they see this shit going down. They'll probably be scratching their head saying, damn, why can I get into it? Why can I do it? Matter of fact, we had a couple cats come up on Friday. Yeah, I'm with you guys. Yeah. And they're gone. Never to be seen again. But once again, no fault to them. But the Lord decided they wasn't meant for this, man. They were called, but they weren't chosen. Go ahead.
That by the mercies of the Most High, that He present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service.
Right.
And be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Right. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And that's one of the biggest things that happens to you when you become submerged in this word and this truth and the Spirit of the Lord. Your mind is being transformed or has been transformed, man. You don't look at shit the same. You don't feel the same about this kingdom. You don't feel the same about people that you used to run with. And even your family, some of your family members, man. You don't feel the same about them like that, man. Because your mind has been renewed and transformed. Now that you've been submerged in the spirit of Yahweh Shai Shai, this wisdom and knowledge, what takes over your spirit, man, what takes over you. You sleep, you wake up, you're thinking about the scriptures. You go to bed, you're thinking about the scriptures. You dreaming, thinking about brothers, the camp, running from Esau, whatever it is, man. You have been fully engulfed in this thing, man. And you don't want to be let loose, man.
You put off the old man upon the new.
That's right. You don't want to be let loose.
The old man,
that's why when you read 1 Peter's the 4th chapter, it says we are prisoners of Yahweh Shai. You see? Now being a prisoner, what? You can't just go and do whatever the fuck you want to do when you locked up or you being held. So we're being held. We're being made prisoners of Yahweh Shai. So we ain't going to just go and be like, yeah, I'm going to go do this and fuck around and get this. Nah. This comes first and foremost. Go ahead.
And be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect, the will of the Most High.
Right, and this is all we hope for. As the cameraman said, he don't give a damn about what. All he cares about is that the Lord's will be done, man. And that's a true statement, man. That's how we all feel. We all feel that I don't care what happens to me. We hope and pray that the Lord preserves us to see the downfall of our enemy, but we don't care, man. As long as the Lord's will is being done, man, that's all that matters. You got guys out there who are so entangled into the things of this world about, doing. The dude said on the show, the dude said on his live feed that they got a piece of property up in Maine. They got a piece of property up there where they go and do their training. I mean, what's it going to do, man? What's it gonna do for you? Going up there training and doing all this shit, man. Esau may catch you out there when you least expect it. Then what you gonna do? You ain't gonna be able to run and get your guns in. That's why you gotta roll in the spirit, man. You roll in the spirit and whatever, take no thought for your life, take no script with you. Whatever comes down, you just you roll with it, man. You see Jake is thinking it's gonna be a picture perfect scenario where they're gonna be like, all right, as soon as it goes down, we're gonna get our guns, we're gonna load up and ride overhead.
Put 2 in his head.
Right. We're gonna ride overhead, and then we're gonna meet at the top of the hill, blow the horn. I said to brothers this. I said, brothers, you don't know. We may never see each other ever again, man. That's how it might go down. We ain't say, all right, when shit go down, we're gonna meet right at the start when we speak, and we're gonna get together, and we're gonna take 2 camps. Brothers gonna go north, we're gonna go east. And
there's an abandoned building.
Right. That shit ain't gonna happen like that, man. This shit is gonna happen when you least expect it. The Lord say you're gonna come as a thief in the night. You may be in dead sleep. All of a sudden, boom, boom. Oh shit! Look out the window. You fucking see all kinds of shit going. Throw your fucking shoes on. You just pray. Well, just guide me through this bitch. Guide me. Next thing you know, you on the run. You on the fucking run.
They still got that what's that blue dot, red dot, green.
Oh yeah, they gonna put on your mailbox. They gonna put that on your mailbox or on the sidewalk. As a matter of fact, there was a video with this Spanish family. She came out of her house and she seen a red dot on the curb leading to her house. And she was like, I couldn't figure out what it was. She's like, I thought the kids were playing. I don't know what was going on. And then she said she realized that every home that had a so-called minority in it had that fucking dot on their line, on their property line. And then she said she was doing some research and come to find out, she said the government is targeting them. Well, what do you think Esau's going? This devil don't like you, man. He does not like you. You're in his land, you're under his command and his control, man. It doesn't matter how many laws you can recite and quote. It doesn't matter how many guns you have, man. You in enemy lands, man. You behind enemy lines out here. And there's nothing you're gonna be able to do to escape it. Esau's coming heavily armed after your ass, man. Go ahead.
Matthew 24, verse 26. But of that day and hour whereof no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only.
Right.
But as in the days of Noah, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
You see that? You gotta stop piecing these things together, man. As in the days of Noah were, so shall also when the Son of Man be. Okay, so if you understand what happened in the time of Noah, now you're gonna understand what's gonna happen in the time of Yahweh Shai comes. Because ultimately, the big grand finale is gonna be them thermonuclear missiles. Okay, so when this goes down like this, when this starts to go down, like I said, we may never see brothers ever again. You may never see brothers until you get to, Lord willing, you get to the chariot. But that's just what the Lord guiding your paths at that point. The Lord giving you the Spirit, and the Spirit telling you how to move, where to move, when not to move, which way to move. You see? But these are all the things we hope and pray that the Lord imparts unto us when this shit starts going down, man. We ain't gonna, cats really think they're gonna be all in a big cluster, just waiting. This shit ain't gonna go down like that, man. The Lord said he's gonna come as a thief in the night.
Mike Tyson got a sin. He said everybody got a plan until he get hit.
That's right. Everybody got a game, but yeah, a dip. He throw the hook, I'm like, roll, Then when he gets smashed, I'm like, oh shit.
You don't know if he rolls or does.
Let me back up now. Let me rethink this. Let me switch up the southpaw. But that's how it happens, man. Is when the Lord starts sending havoc and hell, everything's gonna switch up, man. Everything's gonna be different. Your thought process and your envision of what you thought you was going to do is gonna be totally wiped out, man. That's why we say, just pray and wait upon the Lord and roll in the Spirit, man. That's right. The Lord's going to mark your path and give you direction, man. Go ahead.
But as in the days of Noah, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
Right.
For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating, drinking, marrying, and giving marriage, unto the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not till the flood came and took them out away, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
Right, and it said it was given to marriage. So right now, the majority of this country is in bliss, is in happy bliss, because the mask don't have to be one. So that in itself is detracting and deterring people from truly understanding and seeing the vision of what's happening out here, man. The scriptures say, measure thou the time diligently in itself. You think people measure the time of what's happening? They don't give a shit. Because they said what? They're going to open up the concert halls. They're going to open up the ballparks. They're going to open up the theaters. All these things they're going to start doing, and these are the things that are keeping America drunk and blind, man. Which is, that's fine. We don't, you know, rightfully so. Stay drunk, stay blind. You know? But all these things that are happening because the mask are coming off, people ain't worried about if Russia and China are gearing up to destroy America. People ain't worried about if this devil is about to stop the food from coming and going throughout the stores. They ain't thinking about that, man. You think this is so-called pandemic's over? This is just the start, man. The Lord's about to do another round of some shit out here, man. Whether it be the Delta strand, whatever they say, you know, it's going to be mandated. If you don't have those boosters or what have you, you can't go back to your job. How many people gonna go back to their job talking about, yeah, you know, here's my card now. They were so adamant they weren't gonna get it. Now they're going back because they fear they're gonna lose their job. It's gonna be hell out here, man. You're gonna see a lot of motherfuckers, you know, talking shit. Who are talking shit now? Oh no, I'm not gonna get that. Oh, I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, Mr. Johnson, yeah, unfortunately you can't come back until you get the shot. Meanwhile, Mr. Johnson just bought a fucking $400,000 house, got kids. You know, want to be trying to keep up with the Joneses. Now Mr. Johnson's gonna have to fucking come to a crossroads. You know what? Because he got a kid, he got kids, and he got that house. You gonna have to go get that stuff. That sea blue, as his brother Levi said. Sea blue. I'm still trying to piece that one together.
They shall two be in the field, the one shall be taken, and the other left.
Right.
The women shall be riding at the male, the one shall be taken, and the other left.
Right, so we're talking about now when the Lord comes back and starts, you know, zipping people up, man. One taking the other left, one taking the other left. This is what we hope and pray for, man. To be taken before Babylon gets destroyed. That's important to us, man. That's detrimental to us. To be taken out of here before the nuclear missiles strike this place, man. Strike it through. Go ahead.
It says, watch therefore, for you know not what hour your Lord doth come.
Watch therefore, you know not what hour your Lord doth come. And that's on every level, man. You don't know when the Lord's going to send a death angel out to meet you. You doing all kinds of wickedness. That death angel might be just sitting there like this, waiting for you to get a little closer. And bow! I remember this brother had showed me a photo, or a video rather. We got a tunnel that goes from Boston over to the airport. In that tunnel, there's a dude must have been racing his motorcycle in there, man. Yeah, dude got 7. Half his body and torso was up on the ledge, and the other half was probably on the bike riding away somewhere. So I don't know. But the fact is, that death angel was sitting right there waiting for his ass, man. Just to think, he probably went, however old he was, 33, 34. He probably went 34 years not knowing that was his day. His day of death was there, man. And that's why it's important, man. Don't think of what else you're gonna do or try to suggest, next month I'm gonna go buy this and do that. Give us this day our daily bread, man. Good.
This is 2 Ezra 16, verse 40. O my people, hear my words, make you ready to thy battle, and in those evil speak, even as pilgrims upon the earth. He that selleth, let him be as that he fleeth away. He that buyeth, as one that will lose. He that occupieth merchandise, as he that hath no profit by it. He that buildeth, as he that shall not dwell therein. He that soweth, as if he should not reap. So also he that planteth the vineyard, as he that shall not gather the grapes. They that marry, as they that shall get no children, and they that marry not, as the widowers. And therefore they that labor in vain.
That's right. So all these things that you think you're going to be able to do, that's not going to happen, man. You think you're going to start a business, you're going to be a great entrepreneur with a clothing line and all kinds of, fancy design. That shit ain't happening, man. You think you and your uncle are going to start some woodworking business or construction, that shit ain't happening. Okay? The scripture says, make you ready to the battle. Get your mind right. Get yourself in the right frame of mind, man. Because times of evil that are coming upon this earth, as it says, those evils be as pilgrims upon the earth. Meaning they're gonna be goddamn everywhere, man. And what are you gonna do when all hell starts breaking loose? You're gonna be like, all right, soon as things calm down, as soon as they, they start rioting over there, then I'm gonna go out and we're gonna start the business of no. When the Lord sets it up the way He wants it to be set out, then that's it. There's not gonna be no ease. There's not gonna be no turning back. There's not gonna be no, in a week or so we're gonna be back to normal. It's over, man. It's gonna be over. Go ahead.
Elder, if I may add a great scene to a movie that goes with that precept is World War III with Johnny Depp. He's in the building with the family, and the family's boarded up in the house, and he's telling them to come with them because they got a helicopter coming in the morning. And he said, from my experience of survival, the best survival was being on the move. And the family says, no, we'll stay here. Within that hour, the outbreak of the zombies, they come in the building, they kick through the door, and when it's time for him to get on the helicopter, it's the father that he wanted to come with him. He got changed, and now he's trying to get to him, but then they end up escaping. But the point is, he had said that. He said the best survival that he learned from war tactics was being a pilgrim, being on the move.
Go ahead, brother, real quick.
So I have a precept backing up on what type of spirit we should be, especially in these last days, because the brother brought up something about how just like the time of Noah, the people right now, they're like partying, they're marrying and all this. So this is the type of spirit that we should be in. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7. I'm gonna start at verse 2. It is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting. For that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart. Sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance the heart is made better. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth.
That's right. And it's funny because the more hell that breaks loose in this world, the happier the men of the Lord become, man. And it's total opposite for the people of the world. When that building collapsed over there in Florida, I was like, yeah, boy, judgment's coming. I'm sure everybody had that. Yeah, that's judgment right there. Most people, oh my God, send the prayers. People are all emotional and shit like that. Listen, this is what's gonna happen. There's gonna be much more death than that, man. That's right. The scriptures say there's gonna be people taken in great numbers, man. They said, oh, this is like, I think it's 8 dead, 9 dead, still, 25, 30. That's short change, man. That's child's play to what's gonna be going on out here, man. But the worst thing about it is, or for some, is there's gonna be a point in time where these dead bodies are gonna be laying in the street, man. Right now, the building done crumbled down, people are all caught up in the rubble and smashed to pieces. But when all hell breaks loose, people was riding through the streets, capping people, bow, bow, bow. You see these Purge movies, man? They make these movies for a reason. They're slowly telling you through their subliminal, movies and messages that be ready, be prepared, man. Be ready and be prepared because this is what you're going to experience.
Elder,
go ahead, brother.
These bumps that we see out there in the streets, are gonna be better cases to people, man. All these people that you people walk by, you see them bums, they survive day to day. It could be, a -3, -2, and you best believe they somehow they stay alive. So when all hell breaks loose, they're in more condition because that's what the word to be a soldier is to be solo. And if you're not hard, if you're not you're not enduring anything. Like most Americans, the average American woman don't even know how to fry an egg. So imagine what they're gonna do when all hell breaks loose. Nobody knows the basic survival skills that everybody should know. How to start a fire, how to, how to cook essential thing, how to clean an animal, how to, case it. Nobody knows none of these things, you see, because the American way of life is everything is fast through a button. You get your iPhone, you want food, okay, I just Uber it up or get it caviar up or something.
America's the laziest country
the laziest motherfuckers.
Laziest country on the planet.
Motherfuckers go through a drive-through just to get a cup of coffee.
Right.
Come on, man.
You drive past the damn door of the shop. There's nobody in there. There's 30 cars. Like 30 cars. Yeah, man.
man, it's backwards, man.
Right, so people become more lazier than ever, man. Everything's at the push of a button here in Babylon. You ain't got to get out your car. You ain't got to fucking go into the stores. You don't even have to leave your house to buy shit anymore. I mean, you know.
But that's the mentality of a perfect slave, because that's what these elites want. They want a dystopian future where you stay in your house, you know, and eventually, you know, even service church is gonna be on the camera. Yep. You know, you're basically not gonna be social.
They got those gym things. You hang on the
Peloton,
wall.
the Peloton bike,
the gym thing. You doing all your exercise right in the house and shit. I mean, they gonna
turn you into a prison.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. It's mind control with the people. The way they do it, these elites work through gradualism, which they in a social construct, which they feed and pump an idea into the community, and over time it just gets accepted, man. That's what happens. So all these people that are out here have been conditioned over time. You know, that's how these elites get down.
So much so now, if you go into a place and you don't have a mask on, they look at you like you fucking like you're Adolf Hitler, man. You look like Adolf Hitler, like, you know, people going crazy, man. This dude had a mask. You've seen little videos, whatever. Dude had a mask that looked like his face, so you couldn't tell he had a mask on. He's battling with this lady. Sir, excuse me, you put your mask on. He's like, I have my mask on. Sir, I don't. And she went up to him, and then before she got up to him, he's like, ma'am, I have my mask. Oh, jeez. Yeah. So fuck you. It's not your goddamn business.
And you haven't seen. I have yet to see one dead body drop dead from anything. Right. In none of these stores, man. But yet the people still feel that, oh, if you don't have your mask on, everybody is gonna die.
Yeah, man. And I was gonna say,
before you walk into the bank and you have a mask on, they call the police.
Right, right. You go in there now, right? You're right.
You walk into the bank and you don't have a mask on, they still call the police.
Then you go out, keep your mask on, come with a pistol next time. All right, bitch. Give me the loot. Give me the loot. All right, so where were we? Go ahead, brother.
Ephesians chapter 5 verse 15. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools but as wise, redeeming the time because the days are evil.
Right, walking circumspectly, man, which is also another key important characteristic of a brother, of a man of the Lord, of the truth, man. Walking circumspectly, always knowing what's going on, man. Not being oblivious to your surroundings, not being oblivious to these prophecies. You know? You got Israelites out there who are so just proud and gun ho to be calling themselves, you know, whatever tribe they are. They're missing the essentials and the essence of what's going on, what this is all about, man. You know, they want to have these big shindigs, yell their tribe and all this other nonsense, but they don't want to go out and prophesy about the prophecies, about the downfall of America. But they want to talk about the kingdom of heaven. You ain't getting to the kingdom of heaven until this enemy's land gets destroyed, man. So why even really speak about the kingdom of heaven when you haven't spoken about the downfall of the kingdom you're living in now? You know, the downfall got to take place first before we get into the kingdom. You know, and that's truth, man. You ain't going. The Lord's not going to raise up the children of Israel in our power and our kingdom while this kingdom still exists.
I was just about to say, a lot of people think that we about to just take over and still be going to McDonald's and going to the mall and things
well, that's their mentality. That's their mentality. Yeah, you know, they that's that mentality where they believe that, you know, even though the scriptures say on earth as it is in heaven, but they're looking at it as they're going to round up all the Israelites. We're going to round up all the Israelites and just do a big Israelite revolt in Babylon as it stands right now. This shit ain't going down like that, man. You know, and anybody who's involved with any of those movements, you better check yourself and examine yourself and try to understand what you're truly involved in and what's really happening around here.
Like the Titanic going
Yeah, I
down.
was gonna say that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say it's like the Titanic going down. My man said chopsticks.
The last soundtrack, the last music they put before they drown.
America's going down, man. America the Great is going down. Babylon the Great is falling. You see? As the Lord said, I will destroy it upon the face of the earth.
Yeah, that's what that.
Hey, man, I guess we gotta step it up.
Hey, they marrying, right? Like the last day of Noah.
Esau got a violinist over here, and he's dancing with his woman. Don't he know? See, this is the problem with Babylon.
They were drinking.
Give me Psalms 49.
Hey, just like in the days of Noah.
Psalms 49 and 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever.
You see, that's the spirit Esau's in. They're in the spirit of that their house is going to continue forever. You know, he should be more apt. He should be more in a position of, all right, you know what, shit's about to go down. I'm not worried about getting married. I'm not worried about trying to listen. We're about to enter into some real bad times, man. And he gonna end up dying anyway, man. And there's gonna be some wild nigga from out in the streets is gonna ravage that woman, take her at his. That's what's gonna happen. That's just what's gonna happen. You know? Go ahead.
Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names.
Right. So that time is coming, man, where they think that they're gonna be in this position of. That's right. They believe they're gonna be in a position of control for the rest of their lives, man. They're gonna pass it on to their sons and pass it on to that son and that son and that son. That shit is coming to a halt, man. Go ahead.
This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, verse 33. And he says, the virgin shall mourn having no bridegroom.
Right.
The woman shall mourn having no husband.
Right, because you know what? These guys are going to get called back to war, man. They're going to be called back to war. They're going to go overseas. They're going to kiss their wives goodbye. Say, I'll see you when I get back, honey. You know, these devils ain't coming back, man. These devils ain't coming back, man. Their dead bodies are going to be strewn throughout the land over there. Ahmadinejad said, don't worry about it. If America wants to start a war with us, we got a graveyard waiting for them to be put in. And I'm sure they got plenty of land over there set aside for that great destruction. Go ahead.
And he says, the daughter shall mourn having no helpers, and the war shall their bridegroom be destroyed.
The war shall their bridegrooms be destroyed. So this may be their last dance, man. This may be their last dance. Thinking of America. I don't give a shit. I don't give a damn.
Dressed the master servant.
He's gonna drop down on one knee. Go ahead, brother.
He says, their husband shall perish of famine.
And their husband's gonna perish of famine. Man, it's going down out here, man. You know? Everybody thinks they're getting back to normal. They think because Esau said you don't have to wear a mask that they're getting back to normal. Alright? This shit is just the tip of the iceberg. There's gonna be another food shortage. There's gonna be another bank closed down. The dollar might even drop at that point. Alright? These truckers ain't gonna be, there's gonna be the gas prices going through the roof. See, right now you people don't realize it because you ain't examining the situation. But it's about to get real fucking ugly out here, man. Go ahead.
Oh, the day I told us that the price of we had that conversation last week about material was gonna drop. Now they're saying like you can't get plastic boxes to the end of summer. So imagine going to tell a homeowner midway through the job we can't finish because breakers, and they're on back order from the manufacturer, which makes it worse.
Oh, wow,
yeah.
It's crazy, man. You know, I work on cars, and I used to get my parts at Auto Parts International. And then, you know, they were decent quality parts for decent money. So I went in there 2 days ago and they were like, oh, sorry, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna be able to serve you anymore. I was like, what you mean? What you mean? He goes, you gotta have a shop and a certain type of number. Yeah. Go check that out. Go to Auto Parts International and try to buy something. They were like, yeah, what's your shop number?
That's fucked up.
He's like, no. So
because parts are minimal, right? And that's why they're doing that. So they,
to tell you the truth, brother, I don't know what the deal is, but I know they're limiting what you can buy and how you buy it. So you ain't going to Auto Parts International anymore. Yeah, you know, so I threw a little, scripture say, deceivers, but yet true. Yeah. So I threw a little thing together, said, you know, A&S auto repair, you know, handed it to the dude, is like, works for me. Works for me too. You know?
There's also a wing shortage, food, like chicken wings.
Yeah, man, everything, man. But once again, this isn't happenstance. This is set up, man. This is set up by design. The whole shit's about to collapse, man. Don't y'all people get it? This whole shit is about to submerge underwater, man. And it's not gonna come back. It's not gonna come back. And we're happy about that. All you people out there who's, we're gonna get back to, you know, going to the ballpark and we're gonna see the games and this, that, and the third. That shit's only gonna last so long. You know these devils, they're gonna say, because of these people have been gathering in great numbers, we got another strain. We're gonna have the beta strain. You know, the alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, theta, iota.
I've been thinking about this, Elder. I'm glad you said that. It's gonna be there were people that weren't really fully vaccinated that were walking around without their mask, and that's why the second wave is gonna be.
See, they're already predicting that the Delta strain is going to affect all those who haven't been vaccinated. They said that on the news several times. So that's their prediction, and they're saying the Delta strain is more deadlier than that first strain that came out. So they already got the cards set on the table, man.
Joe Biden said that it's two Americas, the vaccinated and the unvaccinated.
Oh yeah, they're trying to start something.
Yeah, of course. Of course. So I'm telling you, people, be ready to lose your jobs, man. Be ready to lose your jobs. Unless you go get the jab, you're gonna lose your job, man. That's just the way it goes.
There was a hospital that
Texas. 178 workers
because they denied the vaccine.
Well, a judge denied their claim because, and the judge says, well, if they work for the healthcare field and they're refusing to get the C blue, and they deserve to be fired. So it threw out their lawsuit because they had a lawsuit.
Right. The judge also said that it is the discretion of the hospital. What rules?
That might be a different one.
What rules? Okay, but yeah, there was one. Well, the case I'm talking about, the judge ruled in favor of the hospital because they said that it's a private business. It's their discretion what type of rules they want to impose on their worship. If they don't agree with, basically, if I'm a business and I lay out this law and groundwork, if you don't agree with it, then
I'll give you that. Yeah. You see, but that's the thing. You know, all these. It's funny too because I was watching. I don't know if it was Dateline I was watching, and they were saying how these cops got immunity. What's the word? It's some kind of immunity where they raided this 87-year-old's house, right? Black dude went up in his house, busted shit down, do fucking flashbangs in there, tore the shit to fucking pieces, and it was the wrong house. There's a word they use, something immunity, where they can't be held responsible for going into the wrong house. This dude's really a goddamn devil, man. So, and also in Massachusetts, they're now using facial recognition. And now with that facial recognition, a lot of you brothers are gonna be in bad shape, man, because all they gotta do is somewhat get a picture that looks somewhat like you or damn near close to you for a crime or some type of fucking shit that went down, and they're gonna lay it right on your ass, man. And you're gonna be like, oh, it wasn't me, I'm good. It'll all be fixed and worked out. They're gonna hold your monkey ass for fucking years, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, man, if I may add
qualified immunity. That's what it is. They got qualified immunity, so they can't be responsible for their wrongdoings. That's the police. Right. So my thing is this: if you bust into somebody's house and it's the right house, and somebody makes a complaint and says, "Hey," let's say you had a meth lab in the house, and they came up in there with a no-knock warrant, as they call it, and they tear your shit up. Then you make a complaint, say, "Oh, they came in and please bust my shit up." Then I can see them saying, "Yeah, we got qualified." Was it qualified? Then we got qualified immunity. But when you go into somebody's house and it's the wrong fucking house, it's the wrong person you fucking put in handcuffs, you shouldn't have qualified immunity from that. You should be held responsible for that. Right. That's the thing about America, man. Nobody's being held responsible in America. It's a land of nothing, pure wickedness, man. Go ahead.
I just wanted to make a quick comment about what you said about the facial recognition.
Yeah.
So that's part of their agenda tool, so they can control the population. And a big part of it was wearing these masks because they want to be able to have your face without the mask and be able to recognize your face just by the eyes. You know what I'm saying? So like in the last days, when shit starts happening, we try to hide. And we have a face cover, they'll be able to know who we are just by our eyes.
I remember I mentioned that in the show I did a year. Hey, go ahead, brother.
Comment on the qualified immunity. Back when Bush Jr. was president, he signed legislation that the drug companies can't be
held accountable. Yeah, they can't be held accountable. And likewise with C Blue. With C Blue, because it's a good faith effort in what is this damn, there's a couple words they use, but they can't be held responsible once they inject you with that shit and all hell breaks loose, man. There was a video of a young lady, I should have put it on the chat line. This woman who was a doctor or whatever, she said she got that shit and her whole life turned to shit. She can't remember shit, she's having tremors and all kinds of shit, man. Yeah, man, it's all fucked up. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, man, if I may add, not to go back to what DeBar was saying, the reason why they lost that case too was because of and here in Massachusetts in 1905, basically the judge used this against them in Texas. In 1905 in Massachusetts was a United States Supreme Court case in which the court upheld the authority of states to enforce compulsory vaccination laws. The court's decision articulated the view that individual liberty is not absolute and is subject to the police power of the state, meaning once it's mandatory, it's mandatory. And you know, they had lost that case here in Massachusetts in 1905. Yeah. So it shows that it ain't gonna be no you're a Moor, you're a Muslim, you're a religious state.
I know my rights.
You know, in the video with the godfather of vaccinations, Dr. Stanley Hopkins, that was one of the last questions that he asked him. It was like, what about people's religious rights and them not take? He said, he said, okay. He said, they're gonna have to take it. He said, there's nothing that nobody can do about it. It's just gonna come down to that. Everybody's gonna take it. That's what he's telling you, man.
This is why it's gonna get real out here, man. This is why the scripture says they're gonna be like madmen, sparing none. Because as Biden said, there's two Americas right now. You got those who are vaccinated or those who are compliant, and then you have those who are non-compliant. The ones who are non-compliant are gonna be the enemies of the state, if you will. All right? Especially the Hebrew Israelites. Okay? We're public enemy number one in the eyes of all nations. Primarily the leading nation of Edom, Esau, Edom, or however you want to say it. Okay? We are public enemy number one. Why? Because they know who we are, they know who our power is, and they know what spiritual connection we have with them. You see? What you gonna say?
I was just gonna add real quick too, because there was this doctor, this lady on the website. It was on Instagram a while back when I watched it, and she made a comment about that C Blue. He said that this is how things started. You know, they're gonna be a second virus that's gonna come as Bill gets said. But what may end up happening is those who have injected that C Blue into their flesh, they're gonna start the system gonna start being affected, cause them to get even sicker and sicker, and more they're gonna start dying. And then they're gonna use those that did not take the C Blue as a cause of those that took the C Blue that have died. You know, and that's how they're gonna use force to get a lot of people to take that C Blue.
That's what you call the devil.
Yeah.
Right.
But once again, these are beautiful times that we're living in. We're coming upon some beautiful times, man.
The amount, the amount of desperation that's being inserted into the world is a tall tale sign of how close the enemy.
Yeah, some beautiful times we're living. Go ahead.
This is the book of Revelation 3:10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation.
And that's talking about the men of the Lord, man. That's not talking about these churches and these priests and pastors. They read that to their congregation. Okay? That's not talking to anybody but the men of the Lord and the hopeful elect, man. It's gonna keep us from the hour of temptation. You can't apply that to everybody on this planet, man. You can't apply that to everybody that just opens up the Bible and reads. You can't apply it to them. Go ahead.
Which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth.
See, everybody's gonna be tried. Everybody. As it says, to come upon all them that dwell upon the earth, man. So everybody's going to be faced with some type of calamity when the Lord starts to make his move and sets his hand straight upon this place, man. Go ahead. Oh, good. Was you going to say something, brother?
Like this.
Oh, okay. Go ahead,
I'm saying, real quick, I'm going to read it fast. It's an article that just came by. It say Army Times, Pentagon and Congress prepare for mandatory COVID vaccines in September. Army tells command. And it said the Army has directed commands to prepare to administer mandatory COVID-19 vaccines as early as September 1st, pending full Food and Drug Administration. What's that? Licensure. Army Times has learned the directive came from an execute order sent to the force by departments of the Army headquarters. That remind me of the Operation Warp Speed.
Yeah. Yes. You know what that entails? Them going door to door. They're gonna be going door to door when you least expect it, man. And then it's going. Listen, man, it's gonna get ugly out here. They're gonna be going door to door. They're gonna be looking at you, looking at your children. They're gonna take your kids from you, right from underneath you. You ain't gonna be able to do a damn thing about it. What you gonna do then? They're gonna tell you either take this. They're gonna have it right there, ready to go. And that shit that they're gonna have is probably gonna be some real deadly shit too, man. Some real deadly shit. Hold on, go ahead, brother.
Coming if I may add, I had a dream. I was pulling into my driveway, and there was hazmat trucks, and they was in suits, and they were pulling people out their house. And I don't know if they was pulling my fam or not, but I was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna back up out of here. It was too late, man. A lady. I tell you no lie, man. The next part of the dream, there's a lady sitting in the passenger side of the van, like, where you think you going? Next thing you know,